Before we dive into this incredible journey of history, rarity, and hidden wealth, take a moment and hit that subscribe button. If you're a collector, a lover of vintage treasures, or someone who enjoys uncovering the secrets of the past, this channel is where you belong. Now, let me take you back. Imagine it's the year 1973. In South Africa, a time of transition, a period marked by political tension and economic change, something small yet significant was quietly being minted. A coin. A humble 5-cent piece. At the time, no one thought much of it. It was just another coin to slip into a pocket or pass across a counter. But as the decades rolled on, something happened. That small piece of bronze-plated steel began to vanish from everyday life. And today, it holds a secret that only a few collectors have come to understand. This isn't just any coin. This is the 5 cents from 1973, struck in the heart of South Africa, a coin that now whispers stories to those who know how to listen. And the story it tells isn't just one of metallurgy and mint marks. It's a story of time. Of survival. Of rarity born from obscurity. Coins, you see, are more than currency. They are time capsules. They hold in their tiny frames the weight of a nation's identity, its transitions, its history. And this 5-cent coin, is no exception. On the front, you'll find the coat of arms, a proud symbol of a nation in motion. And on the reverse, a majestic blue crane, the national bird of South Africa, standing tall, calm, composed. But beneath that elegant design lies something even more majestic: scarcity. Not every coin minted in a given year becomes valuable. In fact, most don't. But every once in a while, something changes. A limited run. A small detail. A minting error. A shift in composition. A political shift. Or sometimes, just the simple passage of time that wipes most specimens from circulation. That's when a coin crosses the line from being mere currency to becoming a collector's prize. And the 1973 South African 5 cents coin has crossed that line. But let's take a step deeper into the past. In 1973, this coin was part of everyday life. It bought a sweet, a matchbox, maybe a few sips of cola. It clinked in the pockets of men coming home from work, rested in drawers beside old photographs, got lost under floorboards, dropped between the seats of aging cars. Most of those coins are long gone. Melted. Forgotten. Tossed aside in the rush of modern life. But a very few, survived. And it is those survivors that now attract the eyes of collectors around the world. Not just because of the design or the metal or the history. But because of what we all seek: rarity, uniqueness, legacy. And let's be honest, value. Because a coin may be beautiful, but when its worth skyrockets beyond reason, that's when everyone starts to take notice. Think about it for a moment. You may have walked past a coin just like this years ago. Maybe you had one in your drawer. Maybe your grandfather did. Maybe there's one in an old box somewhere in your attic, wrapped in cloth or stuck between the pages of an old notebook. And maybe, just maybe, you're holding a small fortune without even knowing it. Now I know what you're thinking. It's just a 5-cent coin. It's tiny. It's old. It's been forgotten. How can it possibly be worth anything? Let me tell you why. This coin has become more than a piece of metal. It's become a collector's ghost, sought after, whispered about, hard to find, and harder to let go of. And as the number of these coins in mint condition continues to drop, demand rises. That's how value is born. That's how legends are made. Collectors today are offering thousands for well-preserved examples. And the market has been heating up quietly, without the mainstream media taking notice. That's the thing about treasures: they don't scream. They wait. Silently. Patiently. For the right eyes to see them. And the right eyes are now wide open. This coin is no longer about 5 cents. It's about heritage. It's about the thrill of the hunt. It's about finding something rare in an age where everything seems mass-produced and disposable. It's about owning a piece of a time that's gone, holding in your hand something that most will never find again. And here's the twist: a collector's market recently valued this exact coin, yes, the 1973 South African 5 cents, at a staggering $3 million. That's right. $3 million. All for a coin most people ignored for half a century. It doesn't mean every coin from that year is worth millions, of course. Condition matters. Rarity matters. Authenticity is everything. But the fact remains, this tiny coin has reached legendary status in the collector's world. And that kind of leap in value is rare. Very rare. So I ask you this. Do you have one? Have you checked your old boxes, your grandfather's coin jar, that old cigar tin from years ago? Because if you find one, and it's in the right condition, you might just be holding something worth far more than you ever imagined. Now you know the story. The coin that went from everyday pocket change to million-dollar treasure. Don't ignore the past. Sometimes, the smallest pieces carry the biggest secrets. If you enjoyed this video, and if you want more stories of forgotten riches, vintage treasures, and powerful pieces of history that have turned into gold, you know what to do. Subscribe, share, and stay tuned. You never know what's hiding in your own home. Maybe the next treasure is already in your hands.
It looks like just another coin. A small, ordinary disc of metal. Forgotten in a drawer, slipped into a pocket without a second thought. But buried within South Africa's currency lies a story few have ever heard. A twist of fate. A minting mistake. A treasure hidden in plain sight. And today, that mistake could be worth up to $16 million. A year deep in South Africa's complex and conflicted past. Apartheid still ruled, but the winds of resistance were rising. History was being written, quietly and loudly, in homes, in streets, in whispered hopes. And amidst all of that, daily life continued. Coins passed from hand to hand. Groceries were bought. Change was given. No one thought much of it. Among those coins was the 2-cent piece. Simple. Modest. Made of bronze. On one side, the arum lily, a native flower, delicate and resilient. But not every coin followed the expected path. Somewhere in the sterile, precise world of minting, something went wrong. A misalignment. The wrong metal. A press error. A double strike. Something unplanned happened. And from that, a rare breed of coin was born. Flawed, but extraordinary. Only a handful escaped the mint. Fewer still made it through years of circulation. And of those, perhaps only 1 or 2 are known to exist in pristine condition today. These coins aren't fantasy tokens. They're not replicas or modern fabrications. They are official South African coins, just struck differently. Unintentionally. Uniquely. And because of that, they've become legends. In numismatics, the world of serious coin collecting, 4 things matter: rarity, condition, history, and error. This 1979 2-cent coin holds all 4. Minted in the heart of one of the country's most defining decades. Bearing a short-lived design. Carrying an error so unusual, even major databases barely list it. And in a few cases, preserved in a near-uncirculated state. That's why elite collectors, the kind who attend private auctions and bid with sealed envelopes, are willing to pay tens of millions. Not for the bronze. Not for the face value. But for the story. The symbolism. The once-in-a-lifetime chance to own a fragment of imperfect perfection. So how do you know if you've found one? Start by looking closely. Is the design off-center? Are any letters or images doubled or shadowed? Does the coin feel unusually light or heavy in your hand? Does it shine with a golden or silvery hue instead of the usual copper tone? Does it look untouched, despite being over 40 years old? If your 2 cents from 1979 has more than one of these traits, don't brush it off. You might be holding something priceless. But be warned, not all strange-looking coins are valuable. Authenticity is everything. Have yours inspected by a certified grading service. They can confirm the minting error, verify its condition, and tell you what it's really worth. Because in the world of coin collecting, it's not just about metal. It's about meaning. Moments frozen in time. Small objects that carry the weight of history. This coin? It's a relic of resistance. A mistake that became a masterpiece. A whisper from a chapter of the past that still echoes today. So check your coin jars, your grandfather's drawers, that forgotten foreign currency envelope in the back of your closet. You might be holding a coin worth $16 million. But more than that, you might be holding a legacy. Not all treasures are buried. Not all legends are made of gold. Some fit quietly in your palm, waiting to be found. If this story lit a spark of curiosity, there's so much more to explore. Rare coins, hidden histories, unseen artifacts from moments that shaped the world. And who knows? The next great discovery might already be in your hands.
Welcome back to Rare Coin Archive. In today's exciting episode, we're diving into the world of rare coins, and trust me, this one is a showstopper. We're exploring a humble coin that has stunned collectors and investors alike. The South Africa 2-cent coin from 1983, a coin that has risen to legendary status in recent years. So, how much is it worth now? Buckle up, because this little coin is valued at a jaw-dropping $3.3 million USD. Yes, you heard that right. $3.3 million for a 2-cent coin. Let's explore its fascinating journey, the history behind it, and how this small piece of bronze became a numismatic treasure. The South African 2-cent coin was introduced in the early 1960s as part of South Africa's decimalization, replacing the South African pound. This bronze coin was part of daily life, small change that passed from hand to hand across the country. The 1983 edition of the coin is particularly interesting. On one side, it features 2 king protea flowers, South Africa's national flower, a symbol of beauty, resilience, and national pride. The reverse side simply shows the denomination, the year of minting, and the word South Africa in English and Afrikaans. Millions of these coins were produced for circulation in 1983. However, one extremely rare variation has made waves in the world of coin collecting. Now here's where it gets really exciting. Not all 1983 2-cent coins are worth a fortune. It's a rare error coin that has collectors buzzing. This specific variant, known as the 1983 South Africa 2-cent double die error, was struck with a rare minting mistake. Due to a misalignment in the die during production, both the obverse and reverse designs were doubled, resulting in a noticeable shadow effect, particularly visible on the lettering and the outline of the protea flowers. While this might seem like a minor issue, in the world of numismatics, errors like this make coins extraordinarily valuable, especially when they are rare and in good condition. Originally worth just 2 cents, this rare 1983 error coin has climbed the ranks to become one of the most valuable modern coins in South African numismatics, with reports estimating its current value at $3.3 million. Why such a high value? It all comes down to one word: rarity. Experts believe that fewer than 5 of these double die error coins have ever been discovered, making it one of the rarest South African coins in existence. Add to that its unique visual distortion and its excellent preservation in some cases, and you've got a collector's dream. Let's not forget the historical significance of the early 1980s in South Africa, a nation at the crossroads of change. Economic challenges, international sanctions, and growing resistance to apartheid marked a politically turbulent era. Coins from this period, especially those with errors, have become time capsules of a nation in transition. This historical context adds yet another layer of value for collectors. So how can you tell if you have this $1 million coin? With a price tag in the millions, this coin isn't just for collectors. It's attracting the attention of investors who see rare coins as tangible assets with long-term value. The discovery and rise of the 1983 2-cent error coin has sparked new interest in South African coinage, especially from the 1980s and 1990s, prompting a renewed boom in the numismatic market. So there you have it, the incredible story of the 1983 South Africa 2-cent coin. What began as a simple everyday coin has become one of the most valuable and iconic coins in recent history. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just getting started, this story proves that the next great discovery might be sitting in your old coin jar right now. Thanks for watching today's episode. If you enjoyed this deep dive into rare coins, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you won't miss our next coin adventure. Tell us in the comments, Do you have any rare South African coins in your collection? Until next time, keep collecting and keep learning.
Before we dive in, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and tap the bell icon so you never miss stories like this, stories of history, rarity, and hidden treasures you may already have in your own home. Let me take you on a journey. A journey that begins in a small corner of your drawer, perhaps tucked away in an old box. Maybe you saw it once, maybe it belonged to your father or grandfather. It's not flashy. It's not gold. But it carries more weight than you can imagine, not just in value, but in history, identity, and legacy. We're talking about a coin. Not just any coin. A 20-cent coin, minted in 1965, in South Africa. Now, to the untrained eye, this coin may seem simple. Modest. A silver-colored circle with the familiar springbok flower, the protea, on the back. But what lies beneath this surface is a story that begins decades ago, in a country that was changing, divided, and on the cusp of historical shifts that would echo across the world. In 1965, South Africa was in the thick of the apartheid era. This coin was minted just a few years after South Africa left the Commonwealth and declared itself a republic. The Queen was no longer on the coins. Instead, the obverse bore the face of Jan van Riebeeck, the Dutch colonial administrator and founder of Cape Town. His image symbolized a kind of nationalism, and his face was chosen deliberately, his stern expression, his flowing hair, the high collar. He represented the so-called founding of European civilization in southern Africa, at least from the ruling government's perspective, but for many, this coin tells another story. A story of what was happening on the ground. A time when newspapers carried more censorship than truth. When curfews were enforced. When voices of resistance were rising, quietly at first, then louder, stronger. This coin passed through the hands of workers and merchants, of students and elders, of people navigating a world that many were determined to change. Imagine that. This little piece of metal passed between lives, between hands that struggled, survived, and hoped. Let's talk about the design. The 1965 South Africa 20-cent coin is made of 80% silver, unlike the modern coins of today, which contain almost no precious metals. It weighs about 5.6 grams. The reverse side shows the delicate but resilient Strelitzia flower, often known as the bird of paradise. It's an artistic, elegant image. But it's more than just decoration. It's a symbol of South African flora, identity, and natural wealth. If you lived through the 60s, you'll remember how coins weren't just money, they were part of daily life. You used them for milk, for newspapers, for bus fare. But you also measured their worth differently. The clink of a silver coin had a distinct sound. A solid feel. It meant something. Over the decades, coins like these slowly disappeared. First, they were pulled from circulation due to changes in metal content. Then came inflation, redesigns, digital payments. But those who held onto their coins, those who tucked them away in drawers or cigar boxes, unknowingly preserved history. Now, let's talk about rarity. Most of the 1965 20-cent coins were used, worn down in pockets and tills. But a very small number were struck with exceptional quality. Some were never circulated. Others were kept in pristine condition, perhaps as part of a collection, perhaps purely by accident. These rare survivors, especially those graded as proof or mint state by professional coin experts, are where the story takes a turn. You see, collectors today don't just want old coins. They want stories. They want pieces of the past that they can touch, hold, and own. And when a coin like the 1965 South African 20 cents comes up in nearly perfect condition, with its shine still intact, its edges sharp, and its history preserved, it's not just a coin. It's a time capsule, and the demand for such time capsules has skyrocketed. Collectors in the United States, the UK, Germany, and even Japan have started hunting for African coins. Why? Because they represent an untold chapter of the numismatic world. Most Western collectors grew up seeing British, American, or European coins. But coins from Africa, especially from politically complex eras, have become the new frontier for collectors. And there's another factor. Silver. As the world becomes more uncertain, precious metals rise in value. And with this coin containing 80% silver, it has a base value just from its content alone. But add to that the historical importance, the limited numbers, and the condition, and now you've got a coin worth far more than its weight. So let me ask you, do you have one? Maybe tucked in a drawer, in a forgotten tin, or passed down from your father's collection. If you do, take a moment. Hold it up to the light. Look at the details. Feel its weight, because here's the part you've been waiting for. A genuine 1965 South Africa 20-cent coin in top condition, graded professionally, stored with care, and sold at the right auction,